Moments ago, the Lions with the third overall pick in the second round. They take big Iowa tight end Sam LaPorta, the Big Ten tight end of the year. He led Iowa in catches last year. Last night was quite a night, though, as we now look back. And let's bring in Jeff Lessons and Tony Ortiz of WWJ News Radio. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. And we saw what the Lions just did now in the second round of the NFL draft. And they are addressing a need. Not so much, it felt like, last night. Your initial thoughts of what the Lions have done so far?
I like the Jahmyr Gibbs pick because I don't think that DeAndre Swift has been able to stay healthy the last couple of years, and the Lions need a dependable back to go along with David Montgomery. The Campbell pick confuses me a little bit because while he's decent against the run, I'm not sure that's the position they needed to fill at that time. I thought they needed a run stuffer, and I thought they needed somebody along the defensive line. I like the LaPorta pick only because they needed a replacement for TJ Hockenson. He comes from the same school as Hockenson. He seems to have a lot of the same characteristics as TJ, except he may be a better blocker.
Jeff, you look at the situation, does it feel like the Lions are reaching? And look, we may not know for 3 or 4 years here, but your opinion right now?
With all due respect, Jeff, to my esteemed colleague Antonio Ortiz, I completely disagree with him. I think the Lions missed the boat in the first round. I think their obvious, glaring need for years on defense is stopping the run. They had a chance to take a potentially generation run stopper, Jalen Carter.
Yep.
They passed at him, as did other teams, likely because of his off-the-field issues. Got convicted of a misdemeanor, supposedly showed up out of shape to the NFL pre-draft workouts, but it didn't seem to affect him in his play at Georgia, where he was, by most experts, the most talented player in the draft. They had a chance to stop the run. Can you imagine how excited the fan base would have been if they'd have taken him entering the season? And now they go offense again, a tight end, another quote-unquote luxury pick? No, I don't get it, Jeff.
You look at the situation, and Brad Holmes was adamant that he was not going to bring in the depth chart into the war room last night or again tonight.
Right.
And he was going to pick the best available players. And look, maybe it's a chess match here where he's picking up an extra draft pick down the road that can help this team, and he took the best available guy. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, you watch him play, I mean, the kid can ball.
Yes, he can. He catches balls well out the backfield. He can make the plays in the open field, and he is a good blocker. That's a key because he's going to see a lot of action catching the ball. And look, there was a report this evening that the New York Jets at 15 were looking to grab Gibbs. So if the Lions didn't take him where they did, he wouldn't have been there because Gibbs would have probably gone to the New York Jets to team up with Breece Hall at 15. So to me, it's a good pick because he's a guy who's going to be more dependable than DeAndre Swift. Again, we like DeAndre Swift. He just can't stay healthy. And if you can't stay on the field, you can't do much for the team.
And Jeff, it seems like your issue is at 6, you can make a big difference here.
Yes.
Instead, you're getting maybe perhaps a little cute.
Yeah, I mean, running back was not anywhere near as big a position in need as nose tackle or defensive tackle. This team, for years, has been unable to stop the run. They had a chance to do that. And because of so-called, well, I don't know, personality issues or character issues, last I checked, it's not a choir boy league. A lot of not-so-nice people do very well in the NFL, and they had a chance to make a big splash and address their needs. Much bigger at defensive tackle than running back, and certainly than at tight end, albeit TJ Hockenson is gone. That's a luxury pick this high in the draft, Jeff.
Yeah, when you look at the situation, most of the time, running backs that are selected that high up, I mean, even a great running back is sometimes, in this day and age, a luxury pick.
I agree. And look, I'll be the first one to say, I agree with Dr. Doom over there, that it was a luxury pick. Because, you know, you could have gotten Jalen Carter. You could have stayed at 6 and gotten Jalen Carter. You did pick up an extra draft pick. You got the running back that you need, sure. But Jeff's right. They did need somebody to stop the run. And Jack Campbell supposedly can stop the run. He's a good run stopper at Iowa. But again, they need beef up front. This is a team that got gashed for 300-plus yards by the Carolina Panthers
Worst defense in the NFL last year.
Absolutely.
They need defensive players.
Absolutely. They need defensive players, and they need run stoppers. And so far, they have not addressed that. That might be the one disappointment so far. He might be taking the best players available, but to me, I think you have a bigger need stopping the run, getting beef up front, and they don't have that just yet.
And I think everybody would agree with that, but this is an offensive league. And Dan Campbell with Jared Goff had one of the best offenses in all of football last year.
True.
Now you have a guy in Jahmyr Gibbs who not only can play, as a running back, but you can line him up in the slot and almost use him as a tight end in a sense.
Sure.
If this kid can ball and make an immediate impact and make your offense even better, are you on board?
No, because they missed the boat by not taking Jalen Carter. Nothing against Gibbs. Nothing against Campbell.
But if they're both outstanding players,
right.
If they both turn out to be outstanding players, you can't have them all. And if this is the guy that you have and that can be a stud, we don't know, right? We're not going to know for a few years.
We don't know.
But
you're still giving up, like against Carolina last year, 300-plus yards a game on the ground. It's not going to matter if you can't stop the other team. And they did not address that glaring need. And that's why, even if they're all pro players, and they might be, nothing against these players, they look like they could be really good. In fact, Gibbs, very similar metrics to, by the way, DeAndre Swift did back in college. They both ran about a 4.3 in the 40, and they're similar style players. Swift can't stay on the field. We expect him to be dealt maybe as soon as tonight. Who knows? But no, I can't be on board with this pick unless the Lions can stop someone.
Look, they have a lot to go here in the
Correct.
NFL draft. They have a ton of picks still to go, 2 more in the second round, none so far in the third, barring a trade. There's lots of other ways to address things. There's trades, obviously, free agency and guys that are on the market. And so perhaps you never know how it's going to work out. I mean, they know that that's a glaring need. But if the philosophy is let's go attack and get the best available player no matter what the position is, can you really blame them here?
The wild card here is June 1st, when teams have to start cutting players to get back under the salary cap. There could be some veteran players available that the Lions could look at and pick up after June 1st, bring them in for training camp, and maybe that's where you get the help that you need along the defensive line. But like you said, and I agree 100%, we're only, 34, 35 picks in at this point? There's still a lot of this draft left. The Lions can still take advantage and address some of these issues that we're talking about.
All right, we'll have more with Tony and Jeff when we come right back on CBS News Detroit at 7.
I don't know if there's been a better time to start a brand new news operation.
The newsroom was pretty much starting from scratch.
It's fresh, it's innovative.
Lots of energy, lots of passionate reporters.
Knowing what we're starting here puts so much joy in my heart.
We have reporters who are embedded in these communities.
Many people throughout St. Clair Shores have been fighting to save this water tower.
If there's a miracle out there, get a hold of me.
We are part of the neighborhood. Our newsroom is part of your neighborhood.
Residents here on Stansbury say they are fed up with all this flooding that keeps happening.
Because look, it was like to the middle of the block. Now it's coming all the way to the end of the block.
We shouldn't have to live like this.
Telling the stories that otherwise nobody would know about. Now, AJ, you went to the downtown boxing gym and you really got to see how this gym is impacting kids' lives.
Yeah, Chris, as soon as I walked in the building, it was very uplifting.
It's a boxing gym, but it's more than boxing. You know, we do homework. We help them with the SAT.
When it comes to the weather, it's forecasting what's going to fall on your driveway, when is it going to happen, and how might it actually affect your day-to-day life.
Hundreds of people continue to call in reporting problems throughout the county.
Cleanup crews working all throughout Metro Detroit.
Get them down and get them cleaned up.
Local news to me means we're in your community, we're telling stories that matter to you, that affect you, that maybe we can get change and things done in your community.
Well, we are rethinking the way local news is done in the 21st century and how to tell the most important stories in a compelling way.
Local news is all about letting people know what's happening in their community.
I think we're here to listen and actually hear what you're saying, and we're putting together a newscast that will show that.
I want to tell those people's stories because it's needed. Detroit is ready. Get ready, because here we come.
Reporting in Dearborn Heights.
Live in Wayne County.
Reporting in Adrian.
Live in Livonia.
Reporting from South Lyon, Kelly Vaughn.
CBS News Detroit.
Hey, Jahmyr, it's Brad Holmes, GM of Detroit Lions. How you doing, man? I'm doing great, man. You ready to be a Lion? All right, man. Hey, we're fired up over here, man. You're going to be a big-time weapon for us, man.
We're super excited. We're jacked, man. And you're going to do a lot of big things for us going forward, man. All right, Jahmyr, hold on, man. We're going to get you on our phone with the head coach, Dan Campbell, all right?
Gibbs, Dan Campbell. Hey, congratulations.
What's up, Mom?
Yeah, we're excited to have you, man. You're going to fit perfect out here with us. We'll talk to you soon. All right, let me pass you over to Sheila, our owner, okay?
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Good, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jahmyr. This is so exciting. I'm just great. Usually I've heard our room go nuts when you were still there at 12. So everyone's really fired up, and we know you're going to do great things with us. So hope you're as excited as we are.
Well, that was the moment Jahmyr Gibbs got the call, making it official. He was going to be a Detroit Lion last night. The Lions' war room in Allen Park went nuts.
Yeah.
You got to love it. Once again, we're joined by Tony Ortiz and Jeff Lessons. Now, Jeff, that doesn't fire you up at all, seeing that excitement, just how excited they are?
Well, Jeff, when was the last time you saw a team not say, we got the guy we wanted, or not get excited about it? As soon as one general manager gets up there and says, you know what, we admit it, we didn't get the guy we wanted, then I'll believe them, because there's not any way everyone gets what they want, and they all act that way, and they knew the cameras were on them. Look, they may have the guy they wanted. I question why they wanted that guy. They have two other veteran running backs, one who can't stay on the field and may not be a Lion much longer, and DeAndre Swift. They just picked up a guy named Montgomery from the Bears. The guy they drafted could be an excellent player. Very similar little style to what they already have in DeAndre Swift.
Well, let's get into the running back situation. Tony, when you look at right now, at least on paper, this three-headed monster with Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and DeAndre Swift. Now, we're speculating that Swift is unhappy and he wants out. And if that's the case, you can't blame him. But how do you see this playing out if indeed all three show up at training camp?
If all three show up at training camp, David Montgomery's your starter. And then Swift and Gibbs will split time as the second backs, as the backup backs. And probably you will see Gibbs play a little more in passing situations, and you'll probably see Swift play a little more in running situations just simply because of their skill sets. By the way, that clip, Jeff, the fact that when he got the phone, Dan Campbell goes, Gibbs. That made the whole clip right there, because that's Dan Campbell in a nutshell. Just didn't call him by the first name, just Gibbs. And it was awesome to watch. Yes, I got fired up looking at that. I don't know why Jeff didn't, but I did.
Jeff, can all three of these running backs coexist on this team?
No, and there won't be. I mean, Mr. Holmes pretty much gave it up last night when asked about DeAndre Swift's future, that he kind of said, well, he's a Lion for now. And then he got a bunch of calls about his availability. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lions get 4th or 5th round pick. But, you know, if you take a running back, Tony, that high in the first round, number 12 overall pick, and he's not starting, that's not a good pick.
And look, the situation is, though, DeAndre Swift was drafted just 3 years ago in the 2nd round. That's a high pick.
Absolutely.
For a running back. And now you're in a situation where you're potentially giving up on him way early. Are they giving up on Swift potentially way too early here?
I think a little bit, but I think also, had he been able to stay on the field, had he been able to stay healthy, I don't think they'd be giving up on him, and we wouldn't be talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. Keep in mind, he was also a draft pick of the former regime, the Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia regime. So this regime doesn't have the same loyalty to him as maybe the Quinn Patricia regime would have. To me, it's just a simple case of Jahmyr Gibbs can stay healthy. DeAndre Swift at this point hasn't proven he can stay healthy. Now, this could all backfire if Gibbs gets hurt and he doesn't stay healthy and can't stay on the field. But for right now, Gibbs seems to be the safer pick.
And look, David Montgomery, I mean, he's a great player, but he's no spring chicken either.
Correct.
And he's getting up there, at least in running back years. So you look at this situation, I've seen this before where you've had 3 running backs, a three-headed monster, and it has worked as far as, you know, the outcome on a team. Now, each guy may not be happy with all their touches, but if you can line up Gibbs in the slot, now you have your tight end in LaPorta, drafted tonight here in the 2nd round, 3rd overall out of Iowa. All of a sudden, maybe you have an even more explosive offense for Jared Goff.
Maybe, but getting back to DeAndre Swift, I think the Lions coaching staff kind of showed their cards a bit late last year. When Swift was available and healthy, they were still limiting his touches, limiting his carries a game. And maybe like we were talking off air, they weren't happy the way he was hitting the holes. I'm not sure, but it appears he will not be here for the regular season. I'd be shocked if DeAndre Swift was a Detroit Lion for Game 1.
And Jeff has seen the three-headed monster work before, Jeff. I mean, he's seen three running backs able to coexist. And I think if it happens, this could work for the Lions. But I just don't think it will happen at this point because I still think they will trade DeAndre Swift and get a draft pick for him. But it could work. I'm not ruling it out if they went with a three running back by design committee because running backs now in the NFL, disposable.
You know, there's been so much buzz with the Lions after the way they ended last year. And now Aaron Rodgers is out of the division. And this division, look, I mean, it's now up for grabs. And you look at what the Lions did. I mean, they could be a team that can do some damage.
The division is there for the taking. The Lions, before the draft, were the overwhelming favorite to win the NFC North for the first time ever. And last I checked, ever is a long time. And I can't remember the last time they won. It was the old NFC Central. What was it, 1994 or something like that? Yeah, a lot of us were spring chickens back then. But yeah, even with the messed up first round, as I view it, they are probably still the favorites to win the division. Although I question now some of their leadership because of these picks.
Well, let's talk about it after the break. We'll have final thoughts with Tony and Jeff when we come right back.
I don't know if there's been a better time to start a brand new news operation.
The newsroom was pretty much starting from scratch.
It's fresh, it's innovative.
Lots of energy, lots of passionate reporters.
Knowing what we're starting here puts so much joy in my heart.
We have reporters who are embedded in these communities.
Many people throughout St. Clair Shores have been fighting to save this water tower.
If there's a miracle out there, get a hold of me.
We are part of the neighborhood. Our newsroom is part of your neighborhood.
Residents here on Stansbury say they are fed up with all this flooding that keeps happening.
We shouldn't have to live like this.
Telling the stories that otherwise nobody would know about. Now, AJ, you went to the downtown boxing gym and you really got to see how this gym is impacting kids' lives.
Yeah, Chris, as soon as I walked in the building, it was very uplifting.
It's a boxing gym, but it's more than boxing. You know, we do homework. We help them with the SAT.
When it comes to the weather, it's forecasting what's going to fall on your driveway, when is it going to happen, and how might it actually affect your day-to-day life.
Hundreds of people continue to call in reporting problems throughout the county.
Cleanup crews working all throughout Metro Detroit.
Get them down and get them cleaned up.
Local news to me means we're in your community, we're telling stories that matter to you, that affect you, that maybe we can get change and things done in your community.
She was born without a right arm, and then her legs didn't grow, I guess, the way that they should have.
But for 20-year-old Fortune High School alum Sumaya, she doesn't let that, or anything else for that matter, get in her way.
So you have a favorite button over there?
Yeah, you want to, is it?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and...
This is my favorite.
I hope everyone watching that piece in particular says, I want to help that little girl and help that family and help get her to college.
Well, we are rethinking the way local news is done in the 21st century and how to tell the most important stories in a compelling way.
You can get news anywhere, but for us, we're a fresh face with a new perspective, and we're trying to make a difference in the community to tell stories that matter to you.
I think we're here to listen and actually hear what you're saying, and we're putting together a newscast that will show that.
I want to tell those people's stories because it's needed. Detroit is ready. Get ready because here we come.
Reporting in Dearborn Heights.
Live in Wayne County.
Reporting in Adrian.
Live in Livonia. Reporting from South Lyon, Kelly Vaughn.
CBS News Detroit.
Welcome back. Let's get some final thoughts with Jeff Lessons and Tony Ortiz with the Lions. And we were talking about it in the last segment. Do the Lions have what it takes what right now to be a division contender?
Yes, no doubt about it. The division, as Jeff said, is wide open. But I think everybody, including odds makers, are overlooking the fact that the Minnesota Vikings are a very good team. You can make the case that maybe Kirk Cousins is Jared Goff and maybe Jared Goff is Kirk Cousins. But I think the Minnesota Vikings made a great addition this year, and Brian Flores is their defensive coordinator. They have a rock-solid defense, and they have probably the best running back in the division in Dalvin Cook. To me, the Minnesota Vikings, not the Lions, are the favorites to win the NFC North.
And hey, look, the Lions could be obviously a wild card team when you look at this situation. And there's a lot of time left in this draft. They, again, 2 more picks here in the second round. They don't have a pick in the third, but they have a lot more picks throughout this draft. A lot of time to upgrade this roster. As far as the roster, Jared Goff has yet to get a contract extension. Will he get a contract extension? Do you think he is the quarterback for the foreseeable future of the Lions?
I think they basically are saying yes by really not addressing defense so far in this draft. They're addressing the tight end position, the running back, not a quarterback so far. That pretty much says that, don't forget, Brad Holmes, he was a Jared Goff guy back in L.A.
Correct.
And he's shown nothing but that since he's been a Lion. And I would not be surprised to see Goff get a contract extension should he have another solid year. And let's just hope he doesn't get hurt, because right now they have no one to back him up, outside of Nate Sudfeld.
And when you look at Jared Goff, the situation here right now, does he have what it takes, you think, in a year or two to lead this team into a deep playoff run?
For this offense and for what they have in front of them, yeah, I think he could be the quarterback who could lead this team on a deep run. My thing is, I don't believe they'll draft a quarterback this year, Jeff. But what I think is, I could see the Lions drafting a quarterback next year.
But they need a backup quarterback.
They do, and they might go the veteran route. We've heard Teddy Bridgewater, they have a contract out there for him. He's yet to decide on it. But they could do a quarterback next year in the draft when the quarterback class is better. Maybe that's where you pick up a quarterback, develop him for a year or two, and then start the ball rolling towards replacing Jared Goff with this quarterback that you draft.
Do you think the Lions should be drafting a quarterback right now?
No, I do not, because what they need a quarterback for right now is if Jared Goff goes down. If that happens, you don't want to put a rookie in there with no NFL experience. Right. You're going to have to get someone in free agency. If it's not Teddy Bridgewater, it's going to have to be someone else. Bridgewater will be a good fit.
Yep.
But I'm hearing he might want to go someplace where he has a chance to start, and that won't be here in Detroit.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff, and obviously Tony for coming in tonight from WWJ Radio. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for watching CBS News Detroit at 7. We'll see you later tonight on the air and online for CBS News Detroit at 11. I'm Jeff Skaversky. Good night.